Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to FPL. Don't panic. Yeah, we're not quite through the end of game week 8. We've still got the West Ham match to come tonight. So far, so good, I guess. I'm sort of sitting on 75 points. That's not going to change. 75 points all out. There are a few that will do some damage to me tonight without question. But we have got a reasonable sized green arrow, and honestly, bitten your hand off of that at the beginning of the game week, particularly going out once again with no Arsenal defence, just one Arsenal attacker. It's the double Arsenal defence that's doing the damage, obviously, particularly as my own defence has completely underperformed this week. My defence has been one of the most steady aspects of my season to date. It's fallen off a little bit of a cliff in the last game week or two. We'll see that in the spreadsheet shortly. But yeah, big returns from Mateta, Haaland. Everyone's got Haaland. Didn't make a difference. Dubravka, fantastic, real good differential there. Playing him, getting a 9-pointer out of him. So 75 points just says something about the game at the moment, though. To get a green arrow the last 2 weeks, you need to be hitting over the 70 points. That's huge. That's huge. See if that trend continues. Running through the team quickly. Dubravka, lovely. I won't repeat myself. I went through some of this the other day when I did the mid-game week update. But yeah, Dubravka, absolutely lovely. Pretty lucky to get the clean sheet because I went back obviously and I looked at some of the highlights. Yeah, definitely rode the luck on that one, didn't I? But clean sheet's the clean sheet. You make your own luck in this game. Make your own luck in this game. Burn, yeah, it's not so hot. With the Newcastle, didn't expect them to lose that game, but they did. Lacroix, yeah, I'll go through the spreadsheet shortly, but there's a few players now that I've earmarked that will move out over the coming weeks. It's just who goes first, and do I take one or two hits to start taking out some of what I call players that maybe are underperforming, or I could get better value out of a different player. In Lacroix's case, really like to get Munoz in. A bit tricky to stretch there, but I might as well have Richards, for instance, who's doing better basically, or certainly just as well for less money. Virgil van Dijk had an absolute shocker yesterday, didn't he? But so happy. Didn't think United would have had it earthly of getting something there. Certainly United rode their luck. Absolutely we did. And obviously, lost the Virgil clean sheet in the first couple of minutes, or the first minute really. Couldn't have been happier. But I thought, yeah, he'll get his DEFCON, and he did indeed get his DEFCON. But obviously lost the second goal as well. Again, I jumped through the ceiling when that went in. Maguire. We were all fucking giving you shit a year or so back. I love a redemption arc. Yeah, it was fantastic. So yeah, sort of one of those ones. It's nice. It's nice because sometimes, as I say, this game does compromise your emotions, doesn't it? As you know, like I'm cheering when Haaland bags a goal. United fan cheering for City scoring a goal. Oh my god! But at least you could see where my loyalty still do lie with United or FPL when United won, because yeah, it just was just unbelievable. I went through the roof when, as I said, when Maguire got that header in. What else? Caicedo, yeah, nothing could do there. Chose to play him, 1-pointer. But do think a good transfer decision in the long term. But to be honest with you, Saka 7, with no attacking return. I did say Saka averages 7, didn't I? I did say Saka will just average 7. There's the 7, just not quite in the way I envisaged him to get it. Clean sheet, couple of bonus, and DEFCON this game. However, we have to remember that the two players, so I brought in Caicedo and Saka, so between them a points total of 8. So taking it that I transferred out Bruno, We've got 8, I think, and Bruno and Rodri, who I know is injured, so Rodri would have gone the bench and it would have been Sinisi. So technically I'm a point or two down on the transfer. But I'm happy, really happy having Saka in. That was a tremendous performance. I think Caicedo should be, well, yeah, he will be back, and I should see him steady 4 or 5 points average out of him over the next few game weeks. And you never know, one of his shunky screamer goals that I honestly don't expect him to get those on a regular basis, if at all. I mean, he normally get 1 or 2 goals across the season. But, as I said again in the last video, maybe this is some sort of seminal season where he starts bagging a goal every 3 or 4 games. Never know. Hasn't got him in for there. So I'm happy to have Saka and Caicedo. Midfield starting, in my opinion, despite a poor game week this week, looking better. Semenyo there, just the assist this week. But again, yeah, whatever. If he's getting a return of some sort, I don't care how he gets it any week, that's grand, and hopefully we'll see some back to goal scoring form in game week 9. Foden, again, yeah, he just, yeah, could have had a couple of assists. He could have had a little mini haul there in that game. Do seem to be saying that every week, and it's just not happening. Potential one to move out. I did say he could be on his last chance. And I'll talk about potential transfers shortly. João Pedro is clearly gone past his last chance, but he may survive for another week. Just the 2 points. Looked a little bit better in the second half, I thought, when he started playing the number 10 role. Certainly from what I saw in the highlights, he seemed to be more involved. But just through, as I say, there's no major issues within the team. Obviously, I've hit 75 points. Obviously driven a lot by Haaland, but Mateta and Dubravka. But that's the way my team seems to be going the last few weeks. It seems to be not too big a spread of points, but certain people coming up with the big numbers, while a few others tick in with a bit of DEFCON and appearance points and etc. So as long as I hit 70, I'm always going to be happy. Yeah, Haaland doing his Haaland thing. No major mistakes on the bench. Obviously got the Petrovic Dubravka core correct. Sinisi, yep, ultimately correct. He didn't actually make any difference. Could have had Lacroix on the bench and got 6 and 1, half a dozen of the other. No real major mistakes on the bench. Dewsbury Hall 2, Tarkowski 3. Yeah, I was never really going to play him for that fixture, so it is fine. It is what it is. Could have been a mega haul there. Obviously, Mateta could have had another 2 or 3 goals. Foden could have, should have, didn't. Should have had a couple of returns. So there are again, once again, it could have been like that 90 pointer. Don't seem to be getting the 90 pointers. I just seem to be ticking away at a steady rate of knots at the moment. So everything is always in around that sort of 70, as you can see, or as you have seen over the last 4 or 5 game weeks. Very, very steady, slowly rising. No big rises in ranks. It's just been very, very, very steady. Right, that's that. That's the team. That's how it's gone. I will drop. So I'm up to 237. I was down about 350, 360. Actually, it was hard low. No, it was about 380, 390. So currently on a 237. That will drop. Hopefully, can stay within the 300,000. Little green arrow would be nice. There are players tonight that could certainly hurt a wee bit, particularly if they haul. Diouf and Bowen would probably be the 2 main ones. We'll see what happens. Should, I think, and I did say I'd be happy with it, should still be on a small green arrow by the end of it. As I said, beginning of the game week, I'd been happy with just staying steady, or even a small red, just as long as I was staying steady as I seed the players I want into the team, etc, etc. Anyway, I'm going to be trying to make this a quick one, by the way, guys. I have got a huge week ahead. I may not even be back with a final game week update for a few days. Might be next week, because I travel back to New Zealand this week. So I've got to actually get myself organised over the next day or so. I'll be heading back to Ireland and then just a day or so there before I'm on a plane to New Zealand. So hopefully I will get a chance to come back online after this. Just can't say for sure. It's going to be absolutely mental. It's going to be a mental week for me. So right, that is the team that was 75 points. This is sort of how I'm lining up for next game week. Don't read too much into it. Transfers may be made. Obviously, for the tough fixture, I've got the Palace boys on the bench. Just have a look at this with my morning as usual eyes. Hang on a sec. Yeah, I've got Virgil on the bench. As I thought I had. Two was together late last night. Yeah, I've got Virgil on the bench as well. Just can't see Liverpool keeping clean sheets at the moment. As pleased as I am with the United result, I wouldn't be setting too much stock on it at the moment because Liverpool are just poor. They are. There's a few problems there at the moment. A little sip of my tea. Yeah, they're poor. They look very. I don't know. They're just not clicking. Now, United were very lucky, I know. Very lucky. Very lucky. Obviously, Gapco hit the post 3 times. Lemens, at least it looks like we've finally got a goalkeeper now. United, I do like the look of Lemens. And Mbeumo with a goal. Talk more about Mbeumo in a moment. Beautiful ball. Of course, that's sold Fernandez, and he comes up with a beautiful assist and gets the 3 bonus points and everything. But that's it. I did say, Bruno, I'm moving him out. He's going to do something in that game, and of course he did. Of course he did. But yeah, Virgil on the bench. So Virgil is at high risk this week. So I haven't made any transfer decisions. That's how the bus team is set up at the moment. But we'll just talk about some of these numbers in the spreadsheet. Give you some of my thinking, and I may not cover all of my thinking because there's a lot going on in my head at the moment. So I might not cover all of the salient points. I'll try and hit most of them. Okay, so you'll see there I've got a few players that have highlighted their names in red, so that are at risk, that are just not getting the numbers I want. First thing I will point to, though, I don't know how whether any of you really do follow my predictions. I did predict 62, as you can see there, for game week 8. My prediction for the game week was 62 without captaincy. 62. I do not know why this fucking spreadsheet works. It doesn't, because it's very random. You cannot tell what's going to happen with 11 players going out on the pitch. But I swear to God, particularly the last since I wildcarded, these predictions have been fucking spooky. So at the moment, that 11, that's the 11 that I actually played for the next game week. If I was just to go with exactly as I played it, I won't be going with that, but I haven't fully updated this until I've actually made transfers or decided exactly what I'm doing. The prediction, if I was to go with this exact 11, and hopefully I'll come back with some updates. 62 again, actually, because obviously it's been pretty consistent. 62 without captaincy, so we'll see where that ends up. But this team will change because I am seriously considering one transfer or potentially taking my second hit of the season. The problems clearly are right. I have highlighted Petrovic there in red. Dubravka. Petrovic probably will come in for Dubravka for this game week. I won't be making a goalkeeper change this week, but I'm going to start to keep my eye on the potential right time to do one. Interestingly enough, though, although both are falling below the 4-point average that I like, in 3.4 and 3.2, as a combination since game week 4, they have been hitting over my 4-point average. So as a duo, because I've done a few rotations, they're actually going okay, because I went back and checked the game week. So they are actually doing okay on their rotation, but individually they are below it. So Dubravka wouldn't be going anywhere. It's not at 4 million. You know, he's fundamentally a backup keeper. But potentially Petrovic somewhere down the line. So Van Dijk has fallen right back. Now, he had been going very, very strong for me earlier in the season, but he's dropped to a 3.8, and I just struggle to see where Liverpool's clean sheets are coming from. Brentford away, with Villa at home, maybe, I don't know. But if I'm benching a $6 million defender, because I actually have more faith in the three that I've got put out there at the moment, I've got really good home fixtures, I think that says it all. There's an easy sideways move to a Timber. Could do that. But you know what I really quite like? And the fixtures are good. And I know I should be bringing in an Arsenal defender, but I do like to go a little bit different where I can. And it would save me a nice chunk of money then to maybe the following week for the Burnley match, when Arsenal have got Burnley away. I could bring in. Would I have enough? If I did with Tarkowski, I could remove another potential problem one whose numbers are dropping. Maybe a Tarkowski, who there's a lot of money in there, and he's not really delivering the numbers now because Everton aren't keeping the clean sheets. Then I could actually go to Gabriel or Timber. So in 2 weeks I could actually really sort that defence out. But yeah, sorry, back to the point. Chalobah, Sunderland at home. Is that a banker clean sheet? He's got a bit of attacking threat. He has had, now these are the last 5 games, because I know obviously he's had his suspension, and he has had obviously the sending off where he didn't play a full match, he only played half the match. So these are the 5 games, that I've got in the spreadsheet there where he has actually played, you know, a full match. You know, that's showing a lovely average of just under 8, and consistency as well, and Sunderland at home. Would that be a little bit different? Something to go a little bit different in a game week where I can really see Crystal Palace scoring. I can actually see this run of clean sheets coming to an end for Arsenal, and all the double clean sheeters losing that clean sheet. So is it a week where I could actually bet against it and maybe move Van Dijk out, bring in Chalobah, really good home fixture, potential attacking return. Quite like that as a move. So that's definitely one possibility. And then, as I said, the following week I could bring Timber, or because I've saved a bit of money, so I could move Tarkowski, who I think we'll see how I've got highlighted there. His averages have gone down to 4. The clean sheets seem to be disappearing a wee bit for Everton. Spurs at home, Sunderland away. Sunderland are good at home. Fulham home. He's been so consistent with that bloody DEFCON. I don't know. Branthwaite coming back will improve the Everton defence. Don't know. Could be another path, I guess. Lacroix. Just working out the money. I have to look at the money. I could probably still get to Timber. That might be the one, because again, Lacroix's numbers are falling as well. You can see where I'm going, though. I love the idea of backing against that Arsenal defence and going with Chalobah, but I still do need to do that Arsenal defender, but I could do that in game week 10. That's the thinking around that. And in over 2 weeks, then I'll remove 2 players that are falling off their numbers. So that could be Van Dijk or Lacroix. Just thinking through. Saka, fine at the moment. Well, he's going to be fine for a wee while. He will hit his 7 average, and hopefully, though, have 1 or 2 hauls in there. I'm really, really pleased with Saka. He looked so good yesterday. He looked really good. Caicedo, fine. He's an exception to the rule. I'm only expecting a 4 to 5 point average off of him. You know, he's a make weight that's allowing me to do other things, obviously, with money, so that's fine. I don't think there's too many better options than him. at the moment at that price point. There's one or two around, obviously. Ndoye would be one, I guess. Yes, Menu absolutely fine, 9.4 average. He has returned in one way, shape, or form. Yep, across all 5 of his last games. Lovely. Foden. Okay, here is the other one. He's really passing the eye test for me in terms of the chance he's creating. So it is that question now, though. It's a fair bit of money. I could go to Eze, Sarr, or Rice from Foden very, very easily and resolve that for this game week. Now, someone else came into my mind yesterday. Mbeumo. I haven't got him in the spreadsheet. I was just thinking about it last night, and I'd already sort of done my updates. So I haven't got him in the spreadsheet. I think he's got a couple of returns in his last 5. What we always want to do in the ideal world is with this spreadsheet is not just go with the player, oh yeah, they've returned in 5, you get them and their form drops off, but you want to catch player just when they hit into a run of form. United's fixtures are bloody brilliant. Having had one of the toughest starts of the seasons in terms of their fixtures, United's fixtures are good now. Mbeumo is locked in for a 90. He's a 90-minute man. He looked great again yesterday. Fixtures are good. No European football, it removes, whoever I sort of think to bring in for Foden. There's always going to be potential minutes risk there, so particularly with an Eze, maybe not so much with a Sarr in terms of a minutes risk, but there could certainly be exhaustion risks there with those small squad of Palace players playing, Europe again this week now, Premier League, Europe, Premier League, etc., cup matches. As a differential, we know what Mbeumo could be like when he was at Brentford. Once he sort of breaks that seal with that goal, suddenly goes on a really, really good scoring run. He is a flat track bully. I see Halls. I like the link up that's happening between Mbeumo and Ahmad down that right for United. He's getting opportunities every match. United's expected goals is pretty bloody good. Now, United could absolutely... Is it a United bias going for this? I don't think it is. I did say weeks ago that if there's a tight call between players for a player that is passing the eye test, looks as though they'll hit the numbers, but doesn't have European football, and a player that I think will get a similar sort of return, and it's sort of 50-50-ish, I'm going to go for the player that is not playing European football. I really do like the idea of Mbeumo. I really, really do. And I don't believe it's United bias, because you hardly ever see me bringing a United player into the team, do you? I just think Mbeumo is class. United do have expected goals. Maybe there's going to be a kick-on effect from that Liverpool match. Even if there isn't a big kick-on effect, Mbeumo is getting chances now every game. We know what he can do. We know that lad is capable of doing some mega hauls. I think that is maybe it's real possibility I go there. Just very, very nervous of taking Foden out when he is passing the eye test. But there are Liverpool players, City players coming back from injury now. So Foden is not going to be immune from the odd benching. And Mbeumo is fixture-proof in my opinion. Watch the European matches with interest. As I say, absolutely no decisions made at the moment. I've just got a lot of thoughts which I'm running through with you at the moment. But yeah, he's down to 4.4. And this next game week for Foden, 12 is the 12 at the beginning of that is going to drop off. So if he doesn't return, he's going to be suddenly down to an average of about 2. So could correct that now. Mbeumo's averages are not that high, but there's the fixture run there that I could hopefully catch his purple patch before everyone else jumps onto him. Thinking about it very, 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 very seriously. Right, João Pedro. He just isn't great, is he? But I'm hardly going to bench him, or not bench him, not play him for Sunderland at home. I've got Wolves at home in 11. João Pedro feels like that player that I'm going to sell him. And the second that I do, he finds his form and bangs in a couple of goals. And he has been sold hand over fist at the moment. You know, the amount of times I go into some of the chat rooms and whatever, say, oh, I saw blah, 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 they return this week. Maybe I can be the guy that says, I kept the faith. Maybe it's my turn. Maybe it's my turn to be the one that keeps the faith. And, oh, I told you you shouldn't have sold him. Oh, Sunderland at home, only an idiot would sell him for that. Oh, he's got a blank, isn't he? I don't know. Maybe Guehi will start, and he'll play just in that 10 role. Surely they have to see that is his better role. Zhao is going to survive this week anyways. That's the short and curlies of it. Yeah, that is what's going to happen. On other sort of potential moves, I did, and so it's weird. I do believe this is one that I did say first, because I said it in my midweek update. But I'm suddenly listening to a lot of the other content providers talking about exactly the same thing now, and I don't think I'm going to do it. I'll tell you why. And that was actually to move Zhao out and get oh god, the young fella. God, my bloody name's gone out of my bloody head now. Got the couple of goals. It's just 4.5 million, and then just free up a load of money and start to play with the front two, and put the money into other areas of the team. Absolute mind blank. Gone. Anyway, I mentioned it. Anyway, a lot of the other content providers have started to talk about the same thing now. Maybe that's why it's gone out of my mind, because I've actually decided I'm not going that path. I actually really do like, I'm realizing, having this flexibility at the end of the game week. When I look at my squad, I literally do have all of the options in front of me. Maybe I do have a wee bit too much money on that bench in terms of the way I've got everything structured. But just that ability, you know, to go 4-4-2, you know, 3-4-3. You know, just basically any formation, have the rotations, have plenty of players there, you know, because although it looks bad that I've got, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 players falling off of their averages, they're not, some of them are not really that far outside it, and I've had really good points out of them, and I can rotate it around, and fixtures drive form, and I still seem to be hitting, you know, my 70s now, you know, very, very consistently. Long may that continue. It could all fall off a cliff this week, of course it could. But yeah, don't think I'll be going down that path. But Senesi's, you know, just dropping a wee bit at the moment. He will certainly be starting in my starting 11 for game week 9. Forest at home, and Petrovic will be coming in. Tarkowski as well. I don't mind. I don't think Spurs look that fantastic. Dewsbury Hall may or may not come in. Really not sure on what my starting lineup will be. It really is probably about making some of these decisions on, do I do one of my transfers and start to adjust this team. If I was to say what my two favourites would be, I honestly think the Foden move for Mbemo, I really like it. With the United fixture run, just get on that bus early and ride that train. Mbemo's averages will be certainly as good as certainly be as, I need to have a look. It won't be spectacular given the fixtures that they've had, but he has had a couple of goals, I think an assist in the last 5, so they won't be too bad. But some really good fixtures to come. I do think maybe a safe one is to do the Van Dijk, and you know, then I can go as saying the with the 4-4-2. Deep thought, a lot to think about, Or I could just roll. I could literally just roll, just get my best 11 out, as I showed in the previous slide. I think that's gone now. I think I've moved that off, so I can't go back to that. Yeah, it's gone. Yeah, go with the 3. Go with that 3-4-3, I think. Sorry, 4. What am I looking at? Sorry, guys. I'm just jumping around a few screens here. Yes, I think that's the starting lineup. If I was to roll, Petrovic, Burn, Senesi, Tarkowski, nice, decent home fixtures. Dewsbury Hall, Tottenham home. Dewsbury Hall, I think, isn't that bad. I mean, I do want to move, upgrade him at some point. It's not an emergency one. He's mainly a bench player. Bring him in for the right fixture. And of course, if I did upgrade Virgil to Chalobah, then I would go with the back four. Yeah, that frees up damn near a million. No, that frees up a chunk of money. You know what? I think that might be the transfer I do. And just having a little bet against that Arsenal defence, and I've got some good players going out there, and then I've got Dewsbury Hall could potentially go on the bench, and then I just make a decision. Would I take a hit for Foden? Oh, I can't make my mind up. There's too many choices, and I actually kind of like the choices that are going through my head at the moment. What do you think? Let me know what you think in the comments. Waffle, Des. Listen, I'm going okay. It's going to drop. I'm up to 237,000. Really loving that. It's going to drop to maybe 300,000, I guess. Could be worse. I think that some players are going to have some bench points coming in. If I could be on 300,000 by the end of this game, with something like a 70 or 80,000 rank price, be really thrilled with that. Even if it drops a bit more than that, just as long as I've got a reasonable shade of green, I will be happy after tonight's match. What do you think regarding my? Where would you go? Where would you go? Am I been daft? Should I just get Timber in, start to bring in some of that Arsenal defence, or just go against the grain? Little Chalobah, little goal threat, really good chance of a clean sheet, good chance of some DEFCON. And he's a bit of a target man for Chelsea. Kind of like that one. I do like the Foden move as well. I think those are my two favourites, Foden to Mbeumo, because I think they're reasonably sensible moves. And I don't think too many other people would be doing those. Could be wrong, of course. Let me know what you think in the comments. The league. I am on a green arrow. I'm in about 20 million gazillion leagues. There is only one league where I'm showing a red arrow this week. My own bloody league once again with a score of over 70. Guys, so many of you are doing so well. I think there's about 30 of us now in the top 1 million. It may change a little bit after tonight. But that is absolutely amazing stuff. Doing so well. Looking forward once again to the Bishop Brennan Cup. I do not know when I'm going to be able to get back on the pewter. As I said, I've got to pack some bags now. I'll be getting on a plane to Ireland, dare so in Ireland, and then off to New Zealand. So there may be a gap. I'll try and get online if I can for sort of final updates in the Bishop Brennan Cup. But yeah, just on the Bishop Brennan Cup, so good. Really amazing performances in there. You know, there's just so many of you got I hit the 80s and the 90s. Really strong. Yeah, amazingly. We're doing so well. Take care. Have fun. Play your own game. Do not panic. See how things go tonight. Take care. See you soon. Bye bye.